welcome to another edition of Highways and Hometowns. This is the podcast brought to you by the Texas Concrete Pipe Association. Y'all, in this segment, we've got Fernando with the Port of Corpus Christi. We are going to have an incredible conversation today. We're live here from the CECon 2024. This is the largest gathering of engineers in the state of Texas, brought to you by ASCE's Texas section. I am here, Patrick Tarleton. I am here with our co-host, Chris Rowland. Okay, Fernando, take it away. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, Patrick and Chris, thanks for having me here. I really appreciate it. It's a great opportunity to be here, especially at CECon, as you mentioned. It's a great opportunity to meet a lot of your fellow engineers in the state of Texas. I'm born and raised in Carrizo Springs. I went to A&M Kingsville, graduated from there. I then took a tour further south and worked to TxDOT to work for the district office there as a roadway and bridge engineer. Then I got drawn into the dark side and went to work for a consultant. Did a couple of years there, did some construction work. I even went to go work for a school district for a while as an assistant principal. After dealing with that craziness, I was like, nah, I like the headaches of the engineering part better. So I went back into the construction field. And then in 2015, I got hired on by the city of Aransas Pass as their public works director. Shortly thereafter, they added the development services part of it to it. And then, believe it or not, I ended up becoming interim city manager and had to ride out Hurricane Harvey as the city manager there. So that was interesting, great experience. Wouldn't do it again, though. And then I stepped back into my role as Public Works and Development Services and overseeing all the recovery from Hurricane Harvey and all the projects and all the dealings with FEMA and the headaches that come with all that. About 2.5 years ago, I had an opportunity to go work for the port, and I love it. It's been a great decision to go work over there, work with great people, learning lots of more stuff. Just when you think you know what you're doing, you start something different and you're like, oh wow, I didn't know about that. So it's always a learning experience, and I love it. I can't complain.
Well, the association has known Fernando for years, but I did not know your resume was 7 pages long. That is incredible. We went all the way from TxDOT all the way to school teaching and back to Port of Corpus Christi. I love it. Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about the port. Tell us a little bit, give us some background on the port.
The port in Corpus Christi, right now, currently we're seeing a lot of changes. We've gotten permits to deepen our channels, to bring in bigger vessels. It's a great demand going on and growth in the area. There's so many products that come in and out, both liquid material, through rail, through truck, but it is a major lifeline to not just the U.S., but the entire world, because you see people coming in from different counties, countries. Then we start hitting issues with the droughts that affect us, like the Panama Canal. Their water levels are low, so that takes cargo longer to get around, to get to us. So all that plays a factor on how these ports in Texas and in the U.S. pretty much work. Is you have to consider not just what's going on in your area, but around the world as well.
Yeah, I think that's important. I know a lot of people don't understand that when you have a port on the Texas coast, it doesn't support the Texas coast. That throughway of product and import and export are stretched throughout the entire United States. It touches the entire United States, not just the coast or Texas. They're so important as a lifeline to the United States.
Yes, sir. That is so true. And like I said, you have to, being on the Gulf too, during this time, you got to worry about hurricanes. And not just a direct path to us, but anything in the area. With these couple small storms that we had just brushed by us, they force some of these vessels to dock, and then they have to stop what they're doing and where they're going to and take shelter until the waters calm down so they can get back out there. So all that plays a factor in it. And like I said, it's the ports do play an important part of our goods getting in and out to and from the U.S. and other countries.
I know you've done a tremendous amount of work at the port. Talk to us a little bit about your work here at ASCE.
I've been attending this ASCE CECon conference since 2015, a year short of when they originally broke down to the once a year.
So you're an OG.
Yeah. It's a great conference. I love it. It's not big enough that you get lost in the crowd. It's small enough still that you can really get to know people and talk to them and make some really good friendships. And And I have so many lifelines that if I get stuck on something, it's like, oh, you know what? I know a person for that. Pick up the phone, call them, and it's awesome. I really highly recommend it to everybody to come on and be part of it.
You notice that we had a previous guest that said the same thing, the interaction with people, those lifelines that
Yes.
you said. You meet the experts and go, you know what? I know somebody that knows that. And so important, so important.
Talk to us a little bit about the local chapter, because you were the head of the local chapter. Is that correct?
Yes, as a matter of fact, last Thursday I officially stepped down as president, and now
Did you say
yes,
that
thank you.
my service is done?
Good luck to everybody else, but no, I'm very involved. I'm committed to ASE. I take pride in what I do because I really love it. I'm be involved for years to come, hoping to get more and more involved with the Texas section now as we move forward. But our branch is one of the smaller branches. We were struggling with membership and people being active on the board. Actually, believe it or not, I came on board in 2 years ago with the board as a social media person, and went straight to president because we didn't have enough people that wanted to take it. So I think now we have a good group, and we're moving through the steps, and everybody's moving up, and I think the group we have has the momentum to continue, and I see great things coming. We have 2 student chapters now. We had Kingsville as an official student chapter, and just this month our Corpus Christi University students became an official ASE chapter. So great students at both campuses that we hope move up into the actual branch and continue the legacy of our branch, and continue doing great things for the community and for the state of Texas.
They'll be sorry to see you step down as Fred. You got to stay involved because it sounds like you've done a great amount of work here. So keep it going, man. That's wonderful.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's a passion for me, and it just right now I'm actually focusing on my PE. So I had to force myself to step back a little bit and focus on that. Hopefully everything goes well next month, and I'll be getting more involved with the Texas section, and hopefully maybe someday I'll be Texas section president.
Talk to us a little bit about that. That's such an important next step for some engineers sitting at this conference, right? Talk to us a little bit about why, how. Tell us kind of the story of what made you take the next step.
Well, first of all, I recommend do it as soon as possible. I'm 20 years into this, and I'm now just getting into it, and it's so difficult. Once you start family, you start your career, life gets in the way, and it's just so much harder. And not only that, but when you go take these exams, they're focused more on the technical part of it. In your career as an engineer, you learn and you do use a lot of common sense and apply stuff you learn to make adjustments. The test doesn't rely on that. It's strictly technical. So it's harder the longer you wait because your brain's going to tell you that's not going to work. But according to the technical part, it does work, and that's what you need to be doing. So it gets harder the longer you wait. It is a process. Obviously, you obtain your EIT. And now you can officially go and take your PE after you obtain your EIT. And after your 4 years experience, you can apply and submit your SERs. I'm on the old system where I had to do my SERs first, get all that approved. Now that all that's done, I'm working on the actual exam. All I got to do is pass and get that stamp. So that's where I'm at now. No problem, right?
Look, that's an incredible next step for folks, and it's meaningful, right? It's such a meaningful step for so many engineers out there, and it's a sense of accomplishment. So
because it's not an easy path to get there. Like I said, for me especially, because it's taken long to get here. Just putting it off. So once that happens and I get that stamp, it's just going to be a huge load off of me. But like I said, I highly encourage these students to get it done early, and get involved with your ACE chapter or your local branch or the Texas section, because the networking you get there and the people you meet are people you can call on to help you and guide you through that as well. Because I know when going through my career, I didn't have much guidance. It's figuring it out on your own. So I try to do as much as I can now to help the students and make sure that if they have questions or I see them that they have that deer in the headlight look, so it's like, hey, you know what? Go this way. This is the easier path, or do this, and help them get further along.
Absolutely. Chris, Fernando, tell me a little bit about what you would tell folks that are not sure about a career path? We've asked folks that before, okay, give us some steps that take you from 35-year-old to CEO, right? You know, but talk to us a little bit about, you've changed career paths a few times. I'd like to hear from both of you about kind of how life got you there, the twists and turns, and then what made you choose this one.
Well, for me, I've always loved taking stuff apart and figuring out what makes it work, and if something can be improved, it's like, we can do this better, let's do this. So I knew I was going to be an engineer. I love math too. So math is a key part in being an engineer. I will tell the group, go out there, explore, visit colleges. If there's any STEM activities going on in your area, participate in that, see if it piques your interest. Some students are not meant for engineering, but that's okay. But a lot of these smaller communities too, what I've seen is that they don't have the opportunities that the bigger schools do. So I would highly recommend, and I would actually challenge our local ACE branches, reach out more to the smaller communities and do some STEM programs with these students to get them engaged into the system. We just did our first annual STEM camp for high school students in our area this past year. And we only had 4 schools participate out of the 15 we reached out to, but 40 students showed up. And when we first started the meeting, we asked, how many of y'all want to be engineers? We had one young lady say, proudly say, I want to be an engineer. By the time we finished the event, we had 7 students raise their hands saying that they were going to be engineers. So, and then I received letters and notices from some of the campuses that they started their own engineering club, and more students were asking questions, and they've been asking and reaching out for us to come and do more talks to the students, which that's what it's all about. They're the ones that are going to be taking over and being the future engineers and being here with y'all talking as future CCONs.
Yeah, that's great to hear. In one of our earlier podcasts, we had a guest, and he made a point about interacting with the younger crowd coming in middle school, high school, to expose them to the possibilities of this career and where it can go. And so great to hear that another colleague is echoing that and carrying the torch. For myself, my career is morphed over the years. It's been pretty wide in the things I've been involved in, not just but where I wound up. And I would tell people, follow a passion. You want to be an engineer, do it. But aside from the technicals, don't be so rigid in what you're watching for. Keep your eyes, your ears, your life open, because sometimes it's going to take you in a direction that you weren't expecting, and sometimes that path is just incredible. So know that you may experience things and need to correct action, but I've always tried to keep open eyes, ears, and heart to see where it's leading me. And that's where I found the greatest joy, is where it's taking in a natural progression and not fighting something that may not be working.
Yeah, and I would echo that too, and also add on to, don't be afraid to take chances or step into a role that you're not comfortable with, because that's how you learn. And as you mentioned, I've done so many roles in my life, and it's always been a learning experience, and it just makes you a better engineer the more you get out there and learn new things.
Fernando, thank you so much for your time, man. And thank you for being part of our podcast. This has been an incredible episode. I'm really appreciative of you coming and joining us.
Thank you,
folks. With that, my name is Patrick Charlton. That right there is Chris Rowland. We're signing off. Thank you again for another great episode.
Thanks all.
Thank you.